YouTube Lands is now back and recording is, and Streamland is still here. I am continuing on and let's see what next happens. Chapter 17, 5:10 a.m. The upended submarine continues to sink, slowly but surely, a long, long journey to the bottom of the sea. Lynn and the little lady found the darkness and the salt water closing in on them, but the very last second, something saved them. Now it looks down at them quietly. My head is filled with one giant question. What in the world is this thing? Eek! Kaboom, boom, boom, boom. This is a very nice coincidence here. Choom. Choom. I see you managed to survive, Detective. Hey, you're... Excuse my appearance, I seem to have lost my body. I also no longer sound evil, because, well, evil is hard. And you... Oh, and you... there. You're the ghost who's been saving Lynn all evening, aren't you? You knew about me all along? Of course. What else would explain all those unnatural things happening? Getting snack. Stinky snack. If you knew, how come you didn't do anything about it all this time? And how come you decided to save us all of the sudden? I thought you wanted to get revenge on us. I don't really know. Please, you have to tell me. I need to know. Who in the world are you? Sissel, look at you! What happened? I can't hold on to that image of myself any longer. You can't remember who you are? That's right! I came all this way tonight trying to chase down my lost memory. For quite a bit of tonight, I thought I was you, Sissel. Sissel. My name isn't Sissel. I bet you'll remember really soon. Who you are and who I am too. What? The man in front of me is not me. I'm even farther away from the truth. Or maybe not? Still has cool glasses, though. Something is stirring in my mind, a memory about to emerge. Do I know this man? Now that I've shed my image of myself, I feel like I'm one step closer to the truth. They got us good. It's all over for this submarine. The engine room is destroyed. There's a hole in the hull, and it's sinking as we speak. What are you doing here? I thought you had a deal with those people. They betrayed me. I was a fool to trust them. They already have what they wanted now. The Timsik fragment? I didn't know they had it all figured out. You mean they figured out the source of your powers? Yeah, that meteorite's radiation has two effects on living creatures. It gives power and time. If you don't mind, we'd like to hear more. I'm going to go just straight down again. These 10 years, I've been watching that junkyard superintendent do his research. And I think I've kind of got some of it figured out. The meteorite's radiation gives spirits special powers. Like possessing and manipulating objects? And in my case, swapping objects! Exactly, apparently there are individual differences in the powers we get, and it seems these powers change as time goes by. They do? Yeah, my powers have changed over these past 10 years. At first, I could only manipulate small, living creatures. Now then, how do you suppose we got these powers? It's simple. It is? How then? In a nutshell, we died while exposed to the energy emitted by the meteorite. It's radiation. And that's what it does, dying while exposed to the radiation. On that day, 10 years ago, a fragment of that meteorite pierced my heart, and I died. So of course I received special powers. Hey, wait a minute! Is that how I got my powers too? You know, you might be right. Didn't die there. Died there. Aren't the Timsik remnants still right there in that park, at the bottom of the crater? You're right! So that must mean I must have died in the presence of the meteorite's radiation too. I'm excited, everybody gets to know now. I'm excited, boop-a-doop-a-doop. The radiation's time effect. Another factor the meteor's radiation has on us is that it gives us time. Again, I think this time effect is centered around the theme of death, but it's not all that clear. So the fact that I can return to 4 minutes before a person's death is another effect of that meteorite. One of the characteristics of that meteorite is the ability to replay the moment of death. Replay the moment of death? Ah, this is all so strange and confusing. I can't take it all in. It makes about as much sense to me as anything else. Yeah, strange and confusing. That just about sums up the object that pierced my body that day. Thanks to that meteorite fragment, my very existence is a contradiction. What do you mean? Contradictory existence. That day, when the fragment pierced my heart, I lost my life. However, because it remained inside of me, that fragment continued to consistently regenerate my body. In other words, my body was consistently cycling between the moments that separated my life and death. What? My body's vital function stopped 10 years ago. But my body's time is perpetually stopped at the moment just before death. Time just stopped. So I just simply existed. Not really alive, not really dead. It pretty much sums up these past 10 years. ever since that incident in Timsick Park. My body hasn't aged a day. My hair hasn't grown an inch. Come to think of it, that old Pinja guy mentioned something. He said he couldn't cut this guy's body with a scalpel. So I guess as soon as that incision was made, his body would be regenerated. Wow. Revenge. Before I left this country, I wanted to do one thing. I wanted to get revenge on the people who stole our lives. Our lives? As part of the deal I made, these guys promised to cooperate. Cooperate? You mean the kidnapping? It all went fine. I manipulated the justice minister and made him issue the execution order, but I thought he might call off at the last second. That's why you wanted his daughter kidnapped. But they kidnapped the wrong girl. Little did I know. They had their own reasons for cooperating with me. Their objective was to wipe out everybody who had to do with Temsek. Detective Jowd was one such person, so they were happy to cooperate. Inspector Cabanela and that junkyard super, they were slated to be wiped out too. And as it turns out, I was one of their targets as well. So they stole my Timsick fragment, and here I am. But they had one more final target. You, detective. Me? One final target. If you weren't there in the park that day 10 years ago, I never would have thought of doing something as stupid as taking a hostage. Oh, okay. Leaps of logic. But I was just a little kid playing in the park. Yeah, I know. 10 years later and you'd become a detective looking into Jowd's case. Tonight I invited you to a quiet spot on the edge of town. It was a trap, you see. I told you who I was. You never saw my face that day 10 years ago. So of course you didn't recognize me. I took possession of you to make you shoot me. Your subconscious resisted me. Such incredible power. It was the first time I wasn't able to control somebody completely. The aim was off and the first shot missed its mark. The junkyard was equipped with security cameras. I knew you'd be wanted for murder. That was my plan, anyway. But they had other ideas. They simply wanted you wiped out. But then, something threw a big monkey wrench into their scheme. Boom! Poof! I showed up. I was supposed to meet up with them after that. But then something went wrong. What happened? My body disappeared. Ah, the inspector in white was responsible for that one. My precious bargaining chip was in that body. I had to get it back, no matter what. That inspector caused me no end of trouble. But why were those people targeting me? I never even heard of the Temsic meteorite. Because you were looking into the Jowd case. They thought you would find out about Temsic sooner or later. And that's pretty much the whole story. The only thing left to do now is wait for water pressure to crush the submarine. Oh no! There are no cores that link from here to the water surface. I have an idea! We hook up the phone line and... There are no communication cables down this deep. They meant for this submarine to be my coffin. A coffin for the dead. There's no escape. I think I kind of understand now. What you've been feeling these 10 years. You what? This feeling, cut off from the world all alone, in a submarine, sinking slowly towards the bottom of an endless sea. We're not done yet! This must be how you felt all along. Man... Camilla! Is it true? We're stuck here? What? Oh, If my dad was here, I bet he'd save us. We're not to the exposition yet, Sol. Oh, Camilla, I'm so sorry. That's funny. What is it, Sissel? There's something I don't understand. Why would they go all the trouble of detaching the control room? What? Why didn't they just steal the Temsic fragment and escape, if that's what they wanted? Why did they have to jettison your body off into the sea? That's a good question. But I guess it doesn't matter why now. We'll never find it again. We have no idea where it was launched to. Wait a minute! Yes, we do! This will tell us where Detective Jowd is. That present from the inspector in white. That's right! Detective Jowd told me to hold on to it for him. And the bullet is still in this person's body in the command room, right? Then we should be able to tell exactly where it is with this. But even if we find out where it is, how do we get there? We should be able to figure something out between the three of us. With our powers, right, Miss Lynn? Oh, right. Oh, and wait a minute. What about a torpedo? A torpedo? In any case, it's way too early to give up. Looks like Detective Jowd is our last hope. Come on, let's get started. Trick time. Alright. Let's see. What can I do? I don't want to open that door. I want to. Let's... No. No. Operate the control panel. Bleep. Grapes. Grapes. What is this? Why is this machine shoving grapes at me? Well, it looks like a private cabin of the top officer, doesn't it? This machine is probably for feeding him grapes while he lies in bed. Oh, it sounds heavenly! I've been thinking about this for a while now. But don't you think this country's use of technology is just a little off? Says the guy who made a deal with said country. Anyway, it looks like the arm of this machine is a bit busted. No, I wanted to go up. No, I wanted to go up. Alright, we'll talk to everybody. Shell, definitely in command room without fragment. Yeah, don't know who's calling it a shell. Exactly where it is. Right, radio receiver. Might be another torpedo. If we use it, we can get to Detective Jowd. That's a brilliant plan. If you think so. So what are you going to do? Ride to the torpedo? Of course not. You guys are going to go. Darn, I wanted to see that. Did you want to see me drown? Alrighty then. Nope. Yep. Nope. I probably shouldn't have gone on to the... Come on. Over... No. Alright. Can I reach down then? Nope. Nope. I'm stuck. Moving on to... Really? There we go. That was kind of them. So my dad isn't here on the submarine? Don't worry, we're going to go get him right now. Okay. Hope I didn't hurt Lynn's feelings about what I said about my dad saving us if he was here. Oh, don't worry about that. Comments like that just roll off Miss Lynn's back. She's really thick-skinned. Ouch. I'm gonna start being tougher, too. I want to make my dad proud of me. Miss Camilla! I'm sure your dad is very proud of you, Camilla. Hip. Okay, what do we do now? We go find the command room that was launched somewhere in sea. What? How? Just to let you know, I don't like water very much. According to Lynn, the key to our plan is a torpedo, a kind of missile. Missile? You have a missile right here. I don't think she's talking about that kind of a missile. Now then, where did we see another torpedo? Up. Call. Phone. Nope. Can I switch? I can't switch. I'm there. I'm there. Here. Can't talk to him. Do I open the door? Am I silly? Better not open this. Water would come rushing in, I bet. It's such a peaceful mood at the moment. No need to throw cold water on it. Well, I wouldn't go so far to call it peaceful. Alrighty then. Gonna try this again. Just need to... Nope. I don't want to talk to Lynn again. I can't. Gonna operate again. Hip. How high can I get? Yep. Thank you. Got it. Alright. Can I reach from here? No. And I can't be missile? Well, let's trick. Torpedo room. The torpedo room, huh? There might be another torpedo left in there. I'll go check it out. No. Oh, I get it. You're going to use a missile to ram the control room. Well, I don't know about ram. We don't want to blow up Detective Jowd, but something like that. We'll climb up to the torpedo room. We'll climb up to the torpedo to the room 2. Up is definitely safer. Okay, I'll see you there then. Swish, 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 swish. She is way too happy. It looks like the torpedoes can be launched manually with these switches. There are 2 tubes here, so there should be 1 more left. I guess the first thing we have to do is load it into the tube. When it comes to missiles, you can count on me! I'll enter the coordinates of the command room into the torpedo. And I just turned on the backup power. Ought to be able to use the switches now. Alright, let's try it. Good luck! Trick time! Whoop! Whoop! Nope. How's it going? I'm just calculating the command room's coordinates now. I have to put it in a slight offset, though. I don't want to blow it up. I'm sure Detective Jowd would appreciate that. Well, leave this to me. Good luck with loading the missile. Okay, thanks. The switch won't budge. Maybe it's broken, but I don't think the entire device is broken, though. It would probably work just fine if I could move this switch. I'll just have to find a way to move it somehow. But I can't do it with my powers alone. What'll happen to these two ladies? I think that's up to us and our powers. What? This is no time to be standing around unsure of ourselves. Will you lend me your strength, Missile? Me? Of course I will! Count on it! Whoop. And down, and then over, and a flippy floppy switch, and a sizzle, and did not talk to Lynn, over here, and a loady switch. There we go, that torpedo looks serviceable. All set on this end, too. But something's odd. What is? The command room, it looks like it's slowly sinking. Sinking? Yeah, like it's completely run out of power. I wonder what happened. I don't know, but I guess I'll find out. Right, okay, hop onto the missile. I'll launch it for you. Okay, thanks. Yoop. I've already set the torpedo's course. It'll head towards the command room where Detective Jowd is. 12 seconds after launching, it'll pass by the command room for an instant. That instant will be your window of opportunity to jump over to the command room. Okay, got it. And then we'll find a way to come back and save you. That'll probably be my last task tonight. Just hold on until we get back. Okay, come on, Missile. Missile? I'm sorry, I can't go. What? I just can't. How could I leave? I can't leave Miss Lynn and Miss Camilla behind. Missile. I swapped the switches so the missile can be launched. You'll have to do the rest, Sissel. I can't do it either. Can't ask Missile to come with me after that. I understand exactly how he feels. I want you to go, Missile. What? But Miss Lynn? You staying here won't change our fate. But if you go with Sissel, you might be able to make something happen, and that's our only hope. But what if that something doesn't happen? I'll never be able to see you again. Never, ever again. Even I can understand that. I couldn't stand that. Don't worry, Missile. Miss Camilla! I just know you and Sissy can make something happen. I believe in you. I'll be right here waiting for you. We'll see each other then. Don't worry. Miss Camilla! That's a good boy, Missile. Now, are you ready? Remember, it's 12 seconds after I throw this switch. We're ready. Sissel? Yes? We never found out who you really were. But that doesn't matter now. All I know is I am truly glad I met you tonight. Thank you for everything. And I'm glad I met you, Detective. But we're going to see each other again. Right, Sissy? Right, Missile? Wrong voice. That's right. We promise, little lady. Of course we will. I'll never forget you, no matter what happens. Here goes then. Good luck, friend. Water check. These 12 seconds are lasting an eternity. I strive to think of a way to save Lynn and the little lady the whole time. But how can a ray of light, of hope, reach this far down into the deep sea? Before I can think of an answer, the 12 seconds are up. Detective Jowd! I bet that big masked man did this! I'm going to bite him! You'd better not, you might break your teeth. The command room has lost power and is sinking, so I wonder what this masked man is going to do. Let's talk to Detective Jowd! Trick time! Shoop. Sorry for the wait, Detective Jowd. Who are you? Are you Cecil? Please excuse my appearance. I can't believe you made it here. How is Camilla? And what about Lynn? Well, it's kind of a long story. I told Detective Jowd about everything that happened on the submarine. Yona. So the submarine is badly damaged? Why would he do that to his own submarine? I wish I knew. I know the answer to that one. It's because he is afraid of my powers. You followed us? I didn't even notice. It's been 10 long years, Detective Jowd. Are you Yamil? So you remember me, do you? How could I possibly forget? So that's your real name, huh? Yamil? That's right. But those people on the Yoma were calling you Cecil? That's just an alias I was using for my deal with them. I didn't see any need to tell them my real name. Could you do me a favor? Would you let me ask you some questions? I've been trying to find out my true identity all night. Sure, go ahead. I'm sure there's plenty we can still tell you, right, Detective Jowd? Right. About Yamil. 10 years ago, you were a top systems engineer, weren't you? Systems engineer? What's that? By the way, I'm a top Pomeranian, you know. Well, it's kind of hard to explain to a dog, but it's a person who is good at using computers. I don't mean to brag, but I was one of the best in the industry. That's how I got roped into joining that project. Project? What project? It was a project aimed at reorganizing the nation's top secret information. The goal was to build a new system using multi-dimensional programming theory. I was asked to join the project by an agent of the government. It doesn't sound like something a top Pomeranian would know anything about. To me, it just sounded like another challenging job. However, the project was also the target of a secret plot. I bet you can imagine the kind of crime the nation's top secrets might attract. I'd never thought for the life of me I'd ever have to deal with spies. It was never made public, but every organization in the country moved on this one. And then one day the name of a certain programmer emerged as a suspect. I was the guy who built the core of the system. The police arrested you and then that incident happened. He escaped from the interrogation room and took little Lynn as hostage. By the way, Detective Jowd, when was it that I was proven innocent? About 6 months after your death. I'm so sorry, Yamil. Real motive. 10 years ago. My soul was split from my body, and I lost everything. I was sealed in eternal darkness. I existed in this world, no question about that. But nobody noticed my presence. What good were my powers? They didn't help anybody. Not even the passage of time could heal my pain. In fact, it only made it worse. I wanted to disappear. But I wasn't even allowed to do that. The way Lynn described it is exactly right. Sinking slowly towards the bottom of an endless sea. An overwhelming feeling of loneliness and despair. I wanted all of you to suffer what I was suffering. And so that's why you murdered my Alma? That's right. I wanted you to know what it was like to lose everything you cared about. I wanted you to feel the same pain I felt. What? It was the twisted wish of a mind poisoned by infinite loneliness. And then I was plotting my revenge. I had an idea. I came up with a plan to use these powers of mine to make a deal. The deal. There's something I just don't understand about that deal. I'm sure your powers would be very valuable to them, but what would you get out of the deal? A new life. A life? I asked them for 2 conditions. Number 1 was that they help me with my revenge plot. And the second was a rebirth for me. Rebirth, a new beginning, eh? I didn't care if it was a fake, an artificial life. I just wanted a physical receptacle for my soul, a name, an identity, an everyday life. I wanted to grow old in a society that would accept me. And finally, I wanted to die, surrounded by a loving family. That's the kind of life I asked them for. A completely man-made life? That's right, I knew I couldn't hope for anything more than that. To make it all come true, I knew it would take a lot of money and a lot of power. That's why I decided to ask a national government to help me. And their response in the end was betrayal. Betrayal. They're making their moves much more carefully than I suspected. They sent spies to this country and researched my powers on their own. And they even figured out what Timsik was all about. And you had no idea they were doing this? None at all. I was a fool. So then, why did they go to all the trouble of making a deal with you? Why didn't they just steal a hunk of the Timsik fragment meteorite from the park? They couldn't. After the manipulator incident, research was conducted in this country too. A report was submitted to the government about the source of the manipulator's power. By Inspector Cabanel and the old pigeon guy. At first, the government didn't believe the report. But then they decided to put the park under surveillance, just in case. Surveillance, huh? Just looks like an ordinary peaceful park, but there are armed agents there at all times. Don't tell me that old leaflet guy is one of them. I am, he's just a plain old odd person. That park is like a silent battlefield on an international scale. So that's why they couldn't steal the Temsik meteorite. And lately, under the pretense of building a housing site, they've been working on a plan to destroy that park in order to secure the Temsik meteorite. So that's it, huh? So the upshot of your grand deal was this, huh? Yeah, it's the ending I deserve. But at least there's one thing you must be happy about. What's that? You've managed to seal me away at the bottom of the sea forever. Well, shall we get started? Started with what? Bringing Detective Jowd back to life, of course. Wait, what good will that do now? But we promised! We promised Miss Lynn and Miss Camilla we'd save him! And we can't do that without you, Detective Jowd. I've been guided by fate tonight to this place. I won't give up now. Alright, fine. Let's see where this leads us. Here we go then, back to 4 minutes before your death. Zoop. This is an interesting chapter. So, where are we headed? We are not headed anywhere, Detective. What? There was only enough fuel on board to launch us away, Detective. We will run out soon, and that will be our destination, Detective. What are you talking about? That would mean that you're trapped here too. Who saw that coming? By the way, I am not human, Detective. I am a remote-controlled robot, Detective. What? Your country's use of technology is just plain off. We get that a lot, Detective. Why would you go through all the trouble to do this? There's nothing but a shell there. It's hardly a threat anymore. Commander Sith likes to provide against any possibility, no matter how small, Detective. Possibility? What are you talking about? There is no need for you to know, Detective. Now it is time to say goodbye, Detective. In the end, your fate remains the same. It seems, Detective. Camilla, forgive me. It isn't over yet. It isn't? Remember what that big masked man said? Any possibility, no matter how small. Possibility. In other words, there must be a chance here somewhere. The possibility of turning this situation around. Trick time! Huh? What is it, Detective? Look at Yamniel's shell. There's no aura emanating from his body. Of course there isn't. The Temsik fragment is gone. Could this change in his shell give us some kind of lead? A boop. I figured it out. I know what this possibility, no matter how small, is that they're afraid of. What is it? My time was perpetually stopped, thanks to the power of Temsik. His body cycled between the moments that separate his life and death. Right, but not anymore. The Temsic fragment has been taken away. Exactly, so what does that mean? I get it! Your body won't come back to life anymore! The moment the Temsic fragment was removed, my shell became a regular corpse. So let's see, that means we can go back to 4 minutes before your death? But wait a minute! Exactly when is that death? That's simple. We'll find out. When we get there, let's move! And we rewind time again! I fell back through the cracks of time for what seemed like forever, and then I saw it, the final death, at the end of this long night. Who exactly am I? I've already seen all of the clues. All I have to do now is remember. I'm glad you're enjoying it, Soul. And whoever else is just kind of sitting out in the existential crisis of the internet and just hanging out with me, I hope you're enjoying it as well. The final journey to the truth starts now. And it is time for YouTube to leave us. Thank you ever so much for joining. I am sorry to leave you off on that cliffhanger. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Eat food, drink water, take care of yourself, and I will see you for the end and epilogue of this journey.